What if I told you that one of the most dangerous things you can do to your body isn't drugs, alcohol, or junk food, but simply staying awake too long? At first, it doesn't sound so terrifying. Most of us have pulled an all-nighter at some point, maybe for work, maybe for study, or just to binge a new show. You feel groggy, maybe cranky, but you assume it's no big deal. Yet science shows that sleep deprivation isn't just a little nuisance. It's a ticking time bomb for your health, and pushing your body past its limits can set off a chain reaction with deadly consequences. Sleep is not optional. It's a biological necessity, as vital as food, water, and oxygen. And when you deny your body rest, the breakdown begins faster than you think. Within just 24 hours, the effects are measurable. Your blood pressure spikes. Stress hormones like cortisol flood your system. Your reaction time slows down so dramatically, scientists compare it to being legally drunk. That means one sleepless night makes you as impaired as someone driving with alcohol in their veins. At 48 hours, things get worse. Your immune system weakens. Natural killer cells, the ones that fight off viruses, and even cancer drop by as much as 70%. That means your body literally loses its ability to defend itself. And while your body is crashing, your brain begins to short-circuit. Memory lapses, trouble focusing, and sudden mood swings start to take over. You might laugh uncontrollably, or snap in anger, or burst into tears without warning. By 72 hours, hallucinations kick in. Your brain, desperate to rest, begins forcing microsleeps, seconds-long blackouts where you lose awareness without realizing it. Imagine standing at the wheel of a car and drifting into unconsciousness for 3 seconds. That's long enough to cause a deadly crash. And here's the most chilling part. The longer you go without sleep, the more your body begins to resemble someone in the throes of a serious illness. One of the most famous sleep deprivation studies came from 1964, when a 17-year-old student named Randy Gardner stayed awake for 11 days as part of a science project. At first, he was able to push through, but after just a few days, he developed blurry vision, loss of coordination, slurred speech, and paranoia. By the end, he was hallucinating, convinced he was an athlete when he wasn't. His body was collapsing under the strain. Although he eventually recovered after a long sleep, researchers today warn, trying this stunt is a serious gamble with your health. That's because sleep deprivation isn't just about being tired. Over time, it reshapes your body from the inside out. Studies show that people who regularly get less than 6 hours of sleep have higher risks of heart disease, stroke, diabetes, obesity, and even Alzheimer's disease. Why? Because while you sleep, your brain and body perform critical repair work. Your cardiovascular system gets a reset, inflammation levels drop, hormones regulating hunger and metabolism are balanced, and your brain literally flushes out toxic waste through the glymphatic system. Without that nightly cleaning cycle, damaging proteins like beta amyloid pile up, increasing your risk of dementia. And it's not just long-term disease. Sleep deprivation affects your health in ways you feel immediately. Ever notice how you crave junk food after a poor night's sleep? That's because sleep loss spikes ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and lowers leptin, the fullness hormone, tricking your body into thinking it needs more calories. At the same time, insulin sensitivity drops, meaning your body struggles to process sugar. Combine those factors, and chronic poor sleep sets the stage for type 2 diabetes. Your mental health isn't safe either. Prolonged sleep deprivation has been linked to anxiety, depression, and even psychosis. In fact, researchers note that after just a few days without proper rest, the brain starts producing symptoms nearly indistinguishable from psychiatric disorders. Patients report hearing voices, seeing phantom figures, and experiencing paranoia. In other words, sleep deprivation doesn't just make you tired, it can make you feel like you're losing your mind. The real-world consequences are devastating. Fatigue has been identified as a factor in some of history's worst disasters. The Chernobyl nuclear meltdown, the Exxon Valdez oil spill, even the Challenger space shuttle explosion. all had elements of human error linked to exhaustion. On a more personal level, drowsy driving causes thousands of deaths each year, sometimes by people who swore they were just fine to stay awake. And here's where it gets darker. There's a rare genetic disorder called fatal familial insomnia, where sufferers lose the ability to sleep entirely. Once it begins, there is no cure. Victims go through months of relentless insomnia, followed by hallucinations, loss of motor control, and eventually organ failure. Within a year or two, the disease is fatal. It is living proof that without sleep, the human body simply cannot survive. So the question becomes, why do so many of us treat sleep as optional? In a culture that glorifies hustle, people brag about working on 4 hours of rest. Yet neuroscience is clear. Cutting corners on sleep is like cutting time off your life. Every hour you shave away increases risks, weakens your immune system, and accelerates aging at the cellular level. Sleep isn't laziness. It's medicine. The cheapest, most effective, and most overlooked form of healthcare we have. When you prioritize sleep, you're not just preventing fatigue, you're protecting your heart, your brain, your immune system, and even your mental stability. So the next time you think about skipping sleep for work, study, or a late-night binge, remember, your body keeps the score. The real nightmare isn't what happens in your dreams. It's what happens when you don't have them at all. If this exploration into the real science of sleep deprivation opened your eyes maybe wide open tonight, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon for more stories where science, health, and human survival collide. Because sometimes the scariest truths aren't in horror movies, they're in our own biology.